Hello, greetings, and welcome to the midnight hours. It's late. We're making videos though. That's what we're doing. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for clicking on the video. You've clicked on a video of some Legend of Zelda Wind Waker pixel art, fan art. I really like what I've done in this one. It's a bit weird. It's a bit strange. Not my usual pixel art stuff. I feel like it's less landscapey and it's more about like the characters and the design. It's got a very sort of symmetrical design. Basically, I just wanted to do some Wind Waker art because I love Wind Waker. I think I gotta do some more. I think Legend of Zelda Wind Waker is probably my favorite Zelda game. It was the first proper Zelda game that I played as well. So yet again, this theme of it seems like a lot of the time the first things that you do are often your favorite. I wonder if that's just purely nostalgia speaking, but I also still believe it, even after Breath of the Wild. Like, as a story, as like an adventure, Wind Waker, I enjoy the most. If I wanted to like play around right now with Zelda, it would definitely be Breath of the Wild. Anyway, whatever. I had this idea. Like, I was wondering. I was gonna maybe do like an island scene, like sea and island. Windfall Island's really cool. Dragon Roost Island, or maybe like the Deku trees. And maybe I will do that in the future. Maybe I'll do some more pixel art Wind Waker stuff. But yeah, I had an idea of doing my own version of one of the fairy fountains. Just because the fairies, if you know Zelda, there's always a fairy fountain. You go to them, there's a pool of water, there's some flowers and some petals and some stuff, and then a magical lady will appear and grant you health or powers or power ups and stuff like that. And the Wind Waker ones are really rad and weird and like lotusy, and they're like kind of crazy many armed goddesses. The Breath of the Wild fairies are really cool because they're like giant ladies.
A giant woman.
Ain't Breath of the Wild just like Legend of Zelda Studio Ghibli? 100%. Yeah, I don't know. There's not much to it. I did this drawing in like 2 hours. I did it in like one sitting. If I was to do this again, I would add maybe some more like mossy, seaweedy details. Maybe go in a bit more with that. But when it gets to the end, I add like a bunch of like lighting effects and I give some cool atmosphere to the magic. Just know if you haven't played Wind Waker, it's great. But I suppose it's quite hard to play. Like if you haven't got a GameCube or a Wii U, how are you going to play it? Music in Wind Waker is amazing, is incredible. I love like the Rito, like the bird people, their music, and like the sages and little Makar, the little Deku shrub. But yeah, I don't know. I've had lots of stuff going on. Okay, I'm staying up late. I'm recording this video, but also because I want to. But also I'm tired. I'm back to work now, doing some part-time job stuff. We're doing it. Things are weird. Things are going back to normal, kind of. Shit's happening. Jobs just are rubbish. Fucking. My goal is not to work. You know what I mean? Like, your goal should never be to work. That kind of relates to what I'm about to start talking about. We're going to go on a journey. I want to take you on a journey of thoughts that I've had that relate to lots of different things like jobs, career, doing art, but also about like the industry and what's been going on recently with social media and shit. There's been a sort of another mini Me Too movement in amongst the sort of concept art world, comic world, and like video game industries and journalism all at once over the last weekend. Just straight up, I'm just gonna say, like, this is a little bit weird. I suppose I got to touch on it a bit, but like chances are I know the statistics of my channel. I know my ratios and the people I'm talking to. There's probably an 8 in 10 chance that you are a dude. So I know my audience. So I'm just gonna tell you, like, I don't know. I feel like I've got to just use that platform sometimes to speak to you about these things because we just gotta do better, don't we? I mean, I don't know anything about you on the other side of the screen. You're probably an incredibly rad person. I gotta take part in the conversation. Let's just start out with believe victims, support victims. It's kind of crazy to me. Lots of people's first reactions to victims talking about their experience is just to sort of distrust and discredit them. That's kind of crazy to me. I just sort of want to put that message out there that if you're just like a straight white dude like me, do better. I just want to sort of broaden that as well, though, to just sort of fucking individualism is shit. You need to constantly be on the lookout, I believe, constantly be on the lookout for your ego coming into play, affecting your decisions. And any decision where you are doing something out of ease or just pure self interest, please just sort of try and compress that down. And I've realized it's weird. It's a weird thing to talk about because you see across the board, whether we're talking about people not wearing masks, whether we're talking about fucking sexual abusers who have like got on an ego trip, whether we're talking about just someone doing art, like being a bit of an egomaniac. There's a weird level of ego that is just bad, and it spans all these examples, and it's just something you need to just get control of. Try and do it quickly. I don't know. It's really hard because everyone's a product of their upbringing, everyone's a product of their environment. So depending on your parents and depending on your childhood, and then also depending on the society that you're around, especially one like this where it's all like social media, show off about yourself and everything's about you. um, I can see why we've got a bit of an egomaniac problem going on in the world in all aspects. But anyway, let me just get back to the point because I feel like I'm going on tangents. Tangents are coming out. But yeah, there's basically a lot of people came forward. Yeah, a lot of women in the games industry, art industry, things like that, comics, came out with a lot of stories just about their experiences. Ranging from just shitty comments that were made all the way up to proper like sexual abuse and rape and shit. Horrible stuff, but it happens. I feel like you've got to hold those two ideas as well at the same time. Just like it's horrible, but we got to talk about it, and it happens and it's real. So even though you don't, even if you were like, oh well, I would never, or surely that can't happen, or no, that's not happening, I haven't seen it. It's happening. Believe it. It does happen. It exists. And it's horrible and it's shit and we got to do better. You got to look out. You got to look out for people, everyone. Look out for the other and keep your ego in check. Just across the board. So yeah, that's I mean, I'm not really gonna necessarily, I've just one shitty thing, fucking Noah Bradley. I just want to mention this. Noah Bradley, concept artist online, doing lots of stuff. You probably know him, quite famous. I did mention him in one random pixel art video that I did about landscapes, I think. I'm not gonna, this is just a random, just aside. Doesn't mean anything. I'm not trying to show off about this or anything. But I always thought he gave off very weird ego-y vibes. Just saying from the beginning, like when you like posting pictures of yourself like ripped as like reference photos, it all seemed a bit weird. Anyway, just having said that, turns out he's been a bit of a creep, and I've on Twitter, I'm a lurker. I'm a Twitter lurker. I haven't been posting much, haven't been saying much on all my social media because I've just been feeling a bit drained lately. But don't worry, more stuff is coming. I've seen everyone's already commented on this and whatever. But like, yeah, it turns out he's a bit of a shitty guy. Is a shitty guy. his apology's weird. And fuck, the weirdest part of it was like people found this thing that he had shared a couple years ago that was called something like the 48 rules of power or the 48 laws of power or something. And it was a list of the most fucked up weird shit, like abandon your friends and keep your enemies, feign honesty, fucking weird sociopathic shit. And it reminded me of stuff like pickup artists and the weird fucking shit that seems to be pervasive amongst like male groups and male dominated realms of thinking, that you're always, everything that you do in life is like this challenge to overcome, and you must take control of every situation. And it just leads to yet more fucking weirdos out there. Why are we all so like ready to like fight each other, control each other, attack people? It's fucking weird. I had never seen that, like that, him sharing that thing, because I never followed him because I always got that weird vibe from him. Like, it's a shame because his concept art, he's an amazing concept artist, you know? But just seeing that, like the list of things that he's had as his, like, he's lived his life under and like had as his computer desktop and shit, it just blows my mind. And it's sort of what the, other than obviously like me being like holy shit about this Me Too movement happening, and sort of thinking how we should all be looking out for people more and actively doing things. And like, if like I don't know, it yet again it feels fucking stupid and performative to say some of these things online. But like, if you're a woman or a girl watching my stuff, like, you're welcome here. I get that I've probably got a very male dominated audience. Who knows what this channel's gonna be in the future? What was I saying? Yeah, other than that side of it, it brought me back to the idea of what I was thinking in the previous video that I kind of want to mention. I made a joke in the last video, like I was just joking around with the idea of like, hey, imagine if I was saying to you just like, you can't improve, and like joking around about the idea of like people desperately wanting to get better. And the reason why I'm mentioning that again is just because this clearly, there's like, you can't ignore the ego in people. You can't ignore it in yourself. And I feel like it's a constant thing that we're always working towards. We'll never fully achieve it. You're never going to become enlightened, but you're always actively at least aware of it. That's the goal. That's the goal of so much stuff that I believe in. Just if you're thinking about it, if you're aware of stuff, then that's all you can do. And then you can recognize you can recognize the patterns in your thoughts and your actions, and sort of align yourself to the direction that you want to go in. But anyway, ego problems with everything, but in the art world as well. And I was just thinking, the joke that I was making was sort of saying like, don't make it a competition. Don't I know everyone's desperate to improve and they wanna find things out and stuff like that. But my joke of just, it was a joke, just me saying like, hey, you want to know how to get better from me? Well, you can't. Like, that was just me joking around. One thing I just sort of realized the meaning, like why I said that, was also relates back to my ideas on like tutorials and stuff like that. Obviously, there are some very great, clever artists who are down to earth out there that are giving good advice, and making great tutorials, and you should follow their videos or whatever if you want to improve. Obviously, they're out there. But I would just sort of put it to you that if you're one of these people who is like constantly asking questions and constantly wanting to know all the little secrets and ins and outs of how to get better and how to do this, and you're obsessing about like the improvement, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, right? And you shouldn't be doing that. But what I'm trying to get across to you, that you really need to pay attention to the answer that you get from that question. You really need to be careful who you're getting your answers from. If you walked into a room of artists and you said like, how do I improve? I guarantee you should not be listening to the person who answers first, right? Because guarantee you're going to walk into that room, the person who answers first is going to be the loudest, most egotistical straight white man that you could imagine. And then the person who's going to answer second is going to be the second loudest straight white man, and he's going to argue against the first one, right? And that's going to go on for a bit. And then there'll be a third person who can just pluck up the courage to sort of just put them in their place and give you some proper, useful advice. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because you're someone who wants to improve, right? And you're looking to someone and you think that they have the answer. You need to be careful with what you're listening to them about. It's fine. Noah Bradley, great artist, knows a lot about art. You can get probably some very amazing, useful tips and advice from a person like that. But then when you find out the ego sociopathic shit behind his whole like lifestyle and existence, I know that's kind of, I don't know if that's the right word, but you know what I mean. You know, things get soured. It's like, should you be following someone who thinks like that? Like with the 48 rules of power? Like, should you? Like, really? I just think one of the key things about like following your dreams, going forward in your life, is to realize that like you are just existing and you are worthy of everything, you know, that you want from life just by existing. There's nothing that you need to achieve or get to be worth something. Your self-worth should never be dependent on your career or what you do with your life, okay? Number one. Number two, practice and patience. That's the only thing. You should get advice and inspiration from everywhere, from all sorts of different places, and you should always remember that everything takes time. Keep practicing when you can. I'm telling this to myself as much as I'm telling it to you. And just be careful who you're listening to, really. And definitely don't listen to me. But this conversation is going to keep on going. I mean, you know me. These videos are like one long chain of consciousness, just me rambling, and you get to watch some art being made at the same time. This has been a Wind Waker Fairy Fountain pixel art piece. I hope your hearts feel regenerated. I hope your magic bar has been refilled. I hope your rupee bag has been upgraded. This is what the twilight hours do to me. It's 1:30. It's gone 1 a.m. and these are the midnight thoughts that are coming at you. I've got some cool idea. Like there's gonna be a long video soon. I'm thinking of showing you my Animal Crossing island because I can't be bothered to 100% finish it, but I've been playing it a lot. You know, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm doing stuff. I'm making things, making videos, doing art. It's all happening, and we're here, and you're here. Thank you for being here. Listen to victims, support, you know, believe women. It's the bare minimum. Find some female creatives to follow and on social media. They're all over the place. If you want some more pixel art, Winila is amazing. You know Winila. That's it. That's everything. The end. On your way. Travel safely. Keep steady course. All that stuff.